All right, everybody, and welcome back to Talk Football Live. You're probably wondering who are these new faces. We've had Bola DJ Roi on this show before. So, Bola DJ Roi, welcome back. And I believe
Thank
we've
you.
hosted Akintayo in the past as well. It's just been a long time. So, welcome back. But regardless, you guys are still regarded as new faces. So, welcome back to Talk Football Live. We're glad
Thank
to
you very
have
much.
you. Tonight, my other co-host, Ayo and Charles, are on vacation. So you guys enjoy your vacation wherever you are, whatever beach or island you guys are having your best moment. Enjoy it and be back fully refreshed. So today, I have this great man here. These two guys that you're looking at are Chelsea fans. And you probably can guess what we're going to be talking about. It was a very exciting game last weekend. Man City, Chelsea, or should I say Chelsea, Man City? That was a high scoring game and beyond anyone's expectation. It ended 4-4. Behind the scene, offline, we had a very fiery conversation, and I felt we should take this online for our viewers to witness. But before we go into the gist of tonight, um, I just want to encourage you and appreciate you, our followers. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to Talk Football Live. Thank you for your subscription. The numbers are going up, so that's good. And continue to stay with us, share comments, give us feedback. So thank you. Let's get that out of the way. So welcome back, Akitayo. Welcome back, DJ Roy.
Thank
These two
you.
guys are going to be speaking definitely on behalf of Chelsea. I'm going to be representing Guardiola because I've been criticized for my analysis of last week. So here we go. I'm going to open the floor. I'm going to start with the man that I'm seeing in my middle, DJ Roy. Can you give a 1-2 rundown of last weekend? What happened? And be honest with our fans. Were you expecting that kind of scoreline? Were you expecting that kind of fight from Chelsea? Be honest. I knew Akintayo told us. He said it was going to be a great match. As a matter of fact, he predicted a win. So I'm going to come back to Akintayo. But Bola, DJ Roy, were you shocked?
I wasn't shocked. The scoreline was shocking for sure because I didn't think Chelsea had the fight in them to fight back each time Man City scored. But the evidence that I had was the game we played against your team, Gunners. I looked at that tactical setup by Pochettino, and I knew that he was going to come out with something similar, or maybe even even better than what he brought out against you guys. But the scoreline was definitely shocking. But I think I can see that at least these boys can now fight. I think that match must have at least given them some kind of maturity. And right now, I think they know in that locker room that they can fight back. Now we all know that they do well against teams that come out and play, and now they need to kind of go figure out how to play against teams that do the low block or packing balls. I think we've forgotten about that term, but teams that pack the balls, Chelsea needs to kind of figure out how to get out of that funk.
Break them down.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to DJ Roy. I can tell you, I remember our conversation, our chat. You were so confident. Even I remember the night of the game, I was still going after you.
You're tormenting me.
Just records and remind you that in 2.5 years, Chelsea has not been able to defeat Man City. And I think I actually even teased you to the point of it was going to be a 3-0 defeat and all that. And you were still very positive. Did you see something? Were you on Colos, or were you just like in a different planet? Tell us, where did that confidence come from?
Okay, so my confidence came from number one, the last game they played against Tottenham Hotspur. I felt that was an encouragement for those guys to go out and play, and coupled with the fact that they played matches with the big teams and they played well, better than when they played the smaller teams. Against Liverpool, they played Liverpool. Against Arsenal, they played Arsenal. They came out and they played, and I think it's like extra motivation for them to come out when they're playing bigger teams than playing the smaller teams. I think they play with so much overconfidence when they play with the smaller teams, but when they play with the big teams, they come out fighting. Like They know that these guys are better than them. So come on,
I don't know.
let's give them a fight for their money. I think that's what gave me that kind of assurance that they were going to come out smoking and playing well. And coupled with the fact that Pep has always had problem with Poch. He's always had even when he was in Tottenham, he always had problem with Poch. It was difficult for him to beat Poch. So I felt the Chelsea that we saw last season or seasons before won't be the same Chelsea under Poch. Then coupled with the fact that this same Chelsea team, they have guys that are young. They have like a Gallagher that can fight. He can run around. City didn't have that kind of. They didn't have that kind of players. Their players were stylish players, hold the ball, pass around. But when you take their game to them, they find it difficult to cope. Especially when they play with players that are very mobile. They find it difficult to cope. So that was what gave me the encouragement that it was possible. And again, another thing was the match against Wolf. I saw that Wolf was coming out playing them on the counter, which the problem is they have a worker that goes forward. They have all their players are always moving forward, leaving their positions. And that was an opportunity for players that are fast and a little bit skillful to take advantage of them, And what's the name of this defender that played left back? This is his first Premier. This is his first team. First match against a team like Chelsea. So he doesn't understand what happens in the Premier League yet. He's still learning. So they took advantage of him, of his naivety, and if you notice, most of the ball was coming in through his wings. This James and Palmer had a field day in that wing.
Yeah.
So the most shocking part of the whole match was the way Sterling dealt with him. I was shocked. It was a shocker for me. Because I felt Sterling is just average player, but he really proved his worth that day, and for me, he was the man of the match.
So I would like to come in there, and I wanted to challenge something you said. So let me start with Vardiol. You mentioned Vardiol, and if you guys remember, Arsenal City that was played in Emirates, right? Vardiol played the same position against Jesus, and that was actually where we had some of the better chances come from. If you guys remember that game, right?
Yeah,
it's really, really. I mean, he did well against Jesus, but Jesus had some nice, wonderful moments against him. I was shocked myself because I remember my analysis very well. I had predicted that Vardiol was going to play on that side. I wasn't thinking that Nathan Ake would be fit, and he wasn't even fit enough to play. Maybe if Nathan Ake had played or he was fit enough, maybe it would have helped City. But I was shocked that Vardiol. Yeah, I was shocked that Vardiol could mess up, especially the second goal. If you remember the second goal, I felt that was below the kind of level you would expect from City, right?
But he didn't mess up, actually. The problem he had was, Guardiola is a very good coach. I give that to him. But it's a mistake playing that kind of player. He's a central defender. He's new in the Premier League. He's not used to playing from the left back.
Hold on. Did you see Vardiol as a weak point before that game?
For me, in that back line, it was the weakest point.
No. Not during the game. Did you see Vardiol
before the match as a weak point? It was the weakest point.
So you were like open and banking on that opportunity.
Yes. For me, it was the weakest point.
I didn't see that coming.
I was surprised when the coach didn't start Modric and Sterling. I felt was going to play with Modric, Sterling, and Palmer, and not play a striker, so that Sterling can deal with that guy on the wings, because he's not as fast as Sterling. I felt the problem we were going to have in that match is playing from Walker's area, but I was surprised that we couldn't have some upper hand over that. But for me, at the back line, the weakest point was the Gaviol, because of the change of position. That was the problem I had. And that's why I felt maybe if Stones was fit, it would have been a better solution to that place than using that guy.
How would he have rearranged if Stones was there?
Okay, so if Stones was there, there's the possibility that he will either drop a Foden or drop a Bernardo Silva. Play Stones in the midfield, so he covers up for the back line. He can
So
go
push
forward, hold the
Bernardo
ball.
Silva to the wing.
Yeah, and Bernardo Silva plays from the wing. That's what I felt he would have played.
And Stones would have
to protect the
helped.
defense. Stones that protected the defense and also can help in the midfield.
But
And
you guys actually played a game that shocked me. And I'm going to come back to Bola. Bola, how tell me what excited you about the kind of midfield Chelsea played that day, because I saw your players working very hard, coming back into the midfield, winning the ball, then taking it back to the wings. And that was Sterling and Palmer carrying the ball, then stretching it wild again. When they lost the ball, they would come back, compact the midfield, press, Gallagher, all those kind of hard work, then win the ball, then stretch. I mean, walk me through that midfield. Did you see that coming? Would you say that was Pochettino's idea, or was just the bravery of the boys?
I mean, I don't think this is different from the midfield. I mean, I'm looking at the lineup, and I don't think the midfield we played is different from any midfield that we've been playing most of this season, right? I mean, I think this boils down to Pochettino's being able to prepare them for games like that, like in top games like that. I mean, Gallagher was like the heartbeat, winning the ball, high and feeding, the wings. Basically, I mean, I didn't see anything that was different. I think the energy level was just the difference maker there.
I feel he tweaked the system a little bit. He tweaked
He
it
did.
that whenever the ball, they were defending from the front. So whenever the ball is with City, they're always rushing to Bournemouth City wherever they find the ball. And the thing was that the wingers were coming into the midfield if the balls were not with them to support the midfield. So it was difficult for City to break down midfield. They couldn't hold the ball for too long because immediately the Chelsea boys lose the ball, Sterling and Palmer are going back into the midfield to support the midfield. So it was difficult for City to break the line. They now resorted to be playing the balls to the wings, which was not their normal football. They decided to be playing the balls to the wings to fold in to try and find the way out to move into Chelsea's attack. I mean,
but
defense.
yeah. But I think I mean, I think they saw that at the beginning of the game, and that's why City, if you notice, they were just attacking Cucurella's wing. Doku was rendered useless by Reece James on the other side. I was surprised that City didn't play through him more, right? I think he could have made quite a bit of difference if they had kind of like fed him a little bit more. But I think they thought maybe they could pick on Cucurella a lot. But Cucurella has kind of stepped up, and kudos to the coaching staff, man. They've coached that guy head up, but he has really stepped up. And in the last 3 games, I think he's undroppable at this point. And I think someone mentioned that they could have played Colwill on that wing. I think if Colwill had played on that wing, would have considered a lot of.
I don't really think so though. If Colwill had played, Sterling, I mean, what's the name of this guy? Foden is not a fast player. He's skillful but not fast. So with Colwill would have coped with the space and given him a problem. You understand? But the thing is, whatever the coach placed they were good players, and I think they were more energized to come out and play because they were playing in City. That was the encouragement. Yeah. They were playing in City. So
I know this next question will probably make you guys feel a bit angry.
Bring it.
This again, you're not going to change my mind, and I've said this, I'm not just going to repeat it. Would you agree that Pep underrated that game a little bit? And when I say underrated Chelsea. Wasn't expecting Chelsea to have that much energy level, and it didn't think it well, and it kind of opened up. I have not seen City open up that much in any game this season. That game was way too open for a City type of game. Typically, you would have them in control. You will have Rodri commanding the game. Rodri couldn't command the game the way he usually would. And I see them opening up on the defense. And and you could see the goals coming in with that. There were just too much spaces in the last third for Chelsea to operate. Would you say Guardiola kind of underrated Chelsea, and it was too late for him to figure out that this energy level is too much for us to handle?
I don't think I don't think Pep underestimated Chelsea. I don't think so. Pep is is a ruthless coach. He he prepares. I think he prepares for all his games the same way. He may overthink some things, which I think is what happened here. You mentioned earlier that he's always had issues with Poch's team, right? So I think he was probably just trying to do something different, and Poch already knows what Guardiola does, right? And I mean, City plays highline, right? They play a highline defense anyway. So I think that's why Poch probably told the guys, "Hey, look, win the ball up front, and you have a chance." Period. So I don't think he underestimated Chelsea. I think the players maybe may have underestimated Chelsea, but I don't think Pep did.
Did you listen to his interview after the match?
I did, and I was a bit surprised that he said, we try to do everything in the midfield, and it basically was saying that the energy level of Chelsea matched their own style of play, and they didn't let them execute the way they wanted to play. And to me,
even the players agreed.
Even
the players agreed.
I actually saw Rodri's body language. There were times that he was moving at his typical pace, and you will see Palmer all over him. You will see Sterling, like he was seeing folks around him like, how did this guy get?
They swarmed him. Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Because typically these guys will play with Bernardo Silva or Kovacic and somebody else holding the ball away and shielding them away from him. But that's why I'm saying, like, it was too open, and I'm trying to understand why that game was that much open. And for Rodri to be left alone like that and people swarming him over.
The question is, what would they have done differently? What would they have done differently? Yeah. If you were Pep, what would they have done differently?
So this is my thought. I thought they came into this game feeling like Chelsea was going to be a bit afraid and fearful, and they were going to like push back and stay back. And that's what they like. And that's how they like to play. When you're afraid of them and you're fearful, you stay back. When you stay back, which is mentality, right? Which is the bravery that I believe Chelsea should. When they stay back, they command the game, they push you further higher, right? When they push you further higher, Rodri has the whole space in the world to think and create. In this case, that wasn't the case. And I was expecting them as City, as they are. Like, you've seen the challenge. You understand what I'm saying? You've seen the challenge, and this is the point whereby you need individual brilliances from folks like Alvarez and Bernardo Silva in the middle to come back, like how Bernardo Silva handled the Champions League final when De Bruyne was out. He basically came back and tried to be the De Bruyne, trying to win the ball, playing deep, and then opening up the space for more people. But instead, he kept thinking Rodri could handle the game by himself. You understand? And there was too much gap between Rodri and Bernardo Silva most times. And you will see Walker doing much than typically how you will see Walker and Vardiol. And then you had, what's it called? Palmer and Jackson driving and Reece James joining the attack. Like, even Pep said it. The way James was comfortable coming forward, it created a problem for them along that Vardiol side. And that's something that I've never seen before in City, other than when we played against them. That's why I was using the illustration of Vardiol versus Jesus, because the goalkeeper, David Raya, will launch the ball directly to Jesus, and Jesus will attack Vardiol directly. And that's how we're able to push them back. And that's what Chelsea did that day, pushing them back. So, to me, I was like, Guardiola, what are you thinking? Like, you wouldn't do this with other clubs. Like, you will really scare other clubs and push them back. This is too much space for Chelsea. So that's why I said, like, maybe it was one of those games I felt like, okay, number one, we're going to their house. They wouldn't want to lose, and they want to, like, save their pride, and they want to defend and have the opportunity to then dominate and play well how we used to play. That's why I was asking you guys, did you think he underrated or underestimated
I don't think he underrated Chelsea, because I don't think he's that kind of coach. He plays everybody like it's a fun.
But he's a very disrespectful coach. He does that.
I mean, he could be disrespectful, but he plays every match with all seriousness. He doesn't play with any match. So I think he came out to win that game. But I think he didn't. What he met was beyond his expectation. I think that was the problem.
Miscalculation.
He miscalculated.
Miscalculation.
Like, the plan was to come out all attack. You remember there was a time that Doku had to go help defend when the pressure was on them. Because they didn't expect that Chelsea would come out all out against them.
They never expected.
Maybe they were thinking it was going to be a team that would just let loose and let them score the goals they need to score. But they met that match, and the problem was right from the midfield. They were not holding the ball as they were supposed to be holding the ball. Rodri was not giving any chance. Any ball he gets, you are seeing a Gallagher next to him. You are seeing a what do you call it, Fernandez next to him. So it takes a lot of time for him to think of, okay, what do I do next? Because he's isolated from his players. So the problem was because we were defending right from the front. It was difficult for them to know what to do, and that's why they were switching the balls to the wings, which was not that normal football.
So I'm going to throw. See, I know you're doing asking questions, but I'm going to throw back to you.
No, bring it because I have another after yours.
So I mean, I know because you mentioned the conversation we had before the game, and I watched the episode right before the game, and you were so disrespectful to Chelsea, man. So I need you. I want to give you right. I need you right. No, you are going to use your mouth. I need you right now to put some respect on Chelsea's team name, man, because you are like, man, we had no chance. And then Charles convinced you, and then you were like, okay, maybe a draw.
Okay.
So here.
Thank you for saying that.
We didn't.
I have the opportunity to not to clear anything off here. No disrespect to the fans and followers and all the viewers of this show. I love you all. I respect you, whether Chelsea, you Arsenal, you whatever. I still believe, number one, let me say this and let me just put that right out there. I don't believe Chelsea. I'm going to ask you, probably will be my last question on this show before we wrap up. I still don't believe Chelsea will end up in the first 7. I still don't believe Chelsea will make Europe. I'm going to come back to that question. So all that thought, I still don't believe Chelsea will end up top 7 in this league unless there are points deduction. We just find out that Everton was deducted by 10 points, unless there are points deduction. Without that, I still don't believe Chelsea will end up top 7. All that thought, we're going to come back to that question. I just brought up your next matches. Your next game is on the 25th, and you're going to Newcastle. The grace you have is Newcastle has a lot of injuries.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a plus to you.
Part of the game,
right?
It's part of the game.
Part of the game, which is part of the blessing, right? It's a league.
We have a whole set of players injured.
Yeah. So Chelsea has an injury list, but you guys are recovering. So Newcastle, that might be a way for you to get 3 points or a draw. I don't know, but it's going to be a tough game. After that, you're going to host Brighton. Then you're going to play your fellow guys that you'll be moving together. Manchester United. They're going to play Everton. Now, what I said, and I said it, and thank God you went back and you watched the recording. I saw your best chance will be a draw. And look at it very well. Every time City scored, you came back. There was no time. No, you took a lead. That was the one, right? Mm-hmm. And they came back and scored. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I still give it to City because they played with so much confidence and dominance that they were just playing like we're not going to lose.
What match are you looking at?
Hold on. Let me let my thoughts. You can respond. I saw confidence and dominance in City more than I saw in Chelsea. Let me tell you what I saw in Chelsea. Again, I already applauded you for what you did. I saw bravery. I saw fighting spirit. I saw the spirit of don't give up. I saw the spirit of no backing down. It's different from when you see yourself as champions. City play like champions. Like, we're not gonna live here with a loss.
This guy is still taking stats to Jesus, man.
We can go walk.
I'm looking at stats, man. I'm looking at stats, dude.
Did you see any fear in City? Did you guys? It was a last minute.
They were scared. What are you talking about?
We're not scared.
They were scared.
So they saw the attack and they knew that it was battle for battle. But there was no fear in their eyes that they were going to lose that game. As a matter of fact, they play with confidence that the worst will be a
I disagree, man.
That's what I saw.
I disagree.
I saw like, no, we're not going to come here and disrespect us, and we're not going to.
And it's not even because it's Chelsea. I disagree. No, I disagree. No. I've seen. Wait. I've seen Man City play with confidence. And even when they are down, I've seen them play with so much confidence at end of games.
And is that what you saw
when they're down? Huh?
Is that what you saw in City that day?
They were scared, man.
Really?
What do you mean? I didn't see any dominance. I mean, I'm looking at stats: 45 to 55 ball possession, pass accuracy 84 to 89. So what is dominance? What are you saying, man? Dude,
exactly.
I understand. Akin, man.
I don't know what you're
take
looking
it, take it away, man.
We're looking at the same stats. My actually says 46 to 54. They had higher possession, right?
Yeah, I didn't say we had more than them. Look at, but it's like it's close to 50-50,
right? Bola, that's not close to 50-50. That's 46-54, right? Anyway,
just take away 4. Just 4.
Okay, all right. Okay,
we're going to say something.
Yeah, I think just take away 4.
Just take away 4. Okay, all right. Just like the typical. I just need 11,000 votes.
Naturally, when you look at that, you call it.
I just need 11,000 votes. Okay, all right.
You can't say
when City dominates, you see like a 70-30.
Okay, did you see? When you looked at both teams, which team displayed confidence of a champion?
What do you mean by confidence of a champion? What do you mean by that?
Somebody that knows that no matter.
Okay, I get what he's trying to say. I get what he's trying to say. I get what he's trying to say.
That's natural. Yeah. That's their champions. Yeah. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say. You're saying, okay, they didn't feel like they could lose that game. So they were playing from a perspective of we can win this. And Chelsea just gave them the fight. I need you to acknowledge that we gave them the fight.
Exactly, and that's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Chelsea showed a spirit of you are not going to come here and dominate me. You are not going to come here thinking that it's a done deal. You're not going to come here thinking that you can just take 3 points and run away like that. And if you look at it, when it was 4-3, that fourth goal, Thiago Silva was like, what else do we want? Like, do we have to do? Like,
no, he was depressed because the ball hit him. He was trying to block the ball. Like, he deflected the ball. That was all.
Like, come on, man. Like, after everything,
Thiago Silva is an experienced player.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for him, he felt at that point that he let the team down by deflecting that ball to go into the net. That was all that happened. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with being scared of City or anything. He was just, I let these boys down by deflecting this ball to go to
let's not discredit the goal. The goal was a good goal. That is good shot from outside of the box.
Chelsea, I'm not taking anything away from the goal scorer. I am just saying, when you look at the two teams as a neutral person, right, you could see that one team was not the one trying to fight to get a point. The fight trying to get a point was more from the Chelsea side. Like, no, we have to take something away from this.
We were not fighting for a point. We were looking for a win.
Is a disappointment. But Man City was like, no, the worst is going to be a draw. But back to what I said. I did say and I acknowledge it that the best Chelsea will get will be a draw, which is what ended up to. And to be honest, let's be honest, as an Arsenal fan, it was a win-win for me. So regardless of what you say, right? Even though I wanted you guys to be disciplined and be like, get defeated, right?
I knew you were going to come back to that. I knew you were going to come back to that. It
was a good game. It was a well-deserved point. I'm glad that City didn't take 3 points, so which is good for me as an Arsenal fan. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a win-win situation. But back to my point, yes, was I wrong? Yes, I was wrong about my analysis in terms of one-on-one. I never saw Sterling having breakthroughs against.
I was surprised.
See what you did to walk out, man.
I said, I think sometimes you just need to play your exes against the former. Yeah, because it was Palmer and Sterling were like, no, you think we're surplus to the squad? We're not surplus. We are first-team players, and we're going to show you that we deserve it. And Palmer was like, you should have sold Foden, not me. Maybe you should have sold Foden, not me. So
that's true.
It might be the statement that he was sending to Guardiola, like, I'm better than Foden, your boy. So I think Sterling had a good game, proving to Guardiola, like, if you thought City was why I was rated, you're mistaken. I'm better than that. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I want to go back to my question. After this game, and you're right, 2-2 against Liverpool, 2-2 against Arsenal, 1-4, 4-1 win against Tottenham, 4-4 against City. You guys have really had good games against the top teams. But we all know where you suck, right? Against the lower teams. Newcastle is coming up. Brighton is coming up. Give me your end of the season prediction. Akintayo, me, where do you see Chelsea finishing?
Top 6.
Top 6? You're going to make it up? DJ Roi? Chelsea?
I'll wait till Google comes
Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to give me something.
Nah.
You got to give me something.
Nah.
Okay.
I have a reason why I'm saying that.
Why don't
Google
you
is
and you change your prediction much later on as
no. I'll wait till Google comes back.
Okay.
When he comes back, because he's the engine of that.
But DJ Roi just proved my point. When I look at City fans, I see the spirit of champion. I see confidence. I see dominance. I look at Chelsea folks. I see fear.
But if I ask you this question, like 3-4 seasons ago, before you guys started, making it when you were down in 8, roaming 8-10. If I ask you the same question, what would you have said?
I would have said something.
Same thing.
I would have said something.
Come on.
I feel we're going to be in top. I think we're going to be in top 6.
You feel you're good. If you look at
I say that,
we have to. I know what Biodun is saying. I mean, we have to be learning to beat those lower those teams that come out and defend.
The problem we have,
and if we cannot, then we cannot make it.
The problem we have with the lower teams is we didn't have clinical strikers. Chances were created, but we didn't have player that could. Jackson is okay, but I believe with
he should be back by December.
He should be, he said he's going to be back for the Newcastle game.
Really?
Yeah.
That early?
Yeah, he's supposed to be back. Yeah,
for the Newcastle game.
They've already started teasing his pictures, out there.
If he's back and fit, I believe. For me, I think we should be Newcastle because everybody's out in that thing. The Botman is injured.
No, those guys don't.
Bro, they have a lot of injuries. They have about 10 players injured right now. Their key players are injured. They don't have no striker.
Trying to get Neves from Saudi Arabia. They're trying to get Calvin Phillips by January. I mean, they can't get anybody until January anyway.
No, they can't.
Yeah, so the up front, they don't have a striker. They're using Anthony Gordon as
out. And Callum Wilson is not injured.
I guess we're meeting them at a good time.
I wish, I will.
You wish it was Arsenal.
We said at the point. It was bad.
And I feel the City win should be a ginger for those boys that they can do it. I feel it should ginger them.
Sorry. We are live, and I need you to take back and correct that. You did not beat City. A City draw.
Oh, man. Sorry. After the draw.
You guys are getting into your head now.
Okay.
That's okay.
That draw feels like a win. The problem,
it does feel like a win. Yes.
Man, you should.
How do you feel like a win?
You guys play in Stanford, but you played in your home, and you treated it not like a win.
Let me tell you,
we are not blind.
In the world right now, they are the best team in the world.
So
we are not
celebrate. I should have not celebrated.
You can celebrate. It doesn't matter. We are telling you that for a team. Listen, for a team that is less than 7 months with a new coach.
Yeah,
young boys are from different backgrounds. It's
not an excuse.
$1 billion club.
It's not an excuse.
$1 billion club.
Look, you can ask any good coach. It's not about buying players. It's about
buying players.
Why did you buy the players? All your midfielders.
Can you imagine this guy?
You said it's not about buying the players. Why did you call out Casido, Enzo Fernandez?
More than half of those players that they bought, he doesn't know them. He's just meeting them and blending them together.
Biodun, I know you're being funny. I know you're being funny. But we didn't buy them to win. We didn't buy them to win this season.
You bought them to accelerate your.
No, it wasn't acceleration.
Let's be honest.
We bought
some of you guys said you're rebuilding.
Exactly.
What that means. But I thought this is part of your strategy. I don't know. Again, I don't know the financial strategy part of it, which I think is shady. And I think that's where your point of deduction should be announced very soon. But I also felt that it was more to accelerate your return back to Europe. You're not playing Champions League this season. You want to get back into Champions League next season. That's why I asked you that question. Do you see yourself back in Europe? And I don't see it happening. unless you can maintain these consistent runs of results.
Biodun, write today
You
down. We're going to
no longer need to draw City. You need to win the next games. You understand what I mean? You can't be winning this game and losing the next one.
You mentioned Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Newcastle is reading with a lot of injuries, so we have a chance. You mentioned Brighton. We've beaten Brighton this season.
Like
They are beatable.
we beat them many times.
Beatable.
Yeah.
You are mentioning Manchester United. Manchester United is as how do I call it?
You guys are
A
together.
team that you cannot predict. You cannot predict. Their games are up and down. Like they have
Just
injuries
like-
too. Their players
just
are inconsistent. So they're beatable.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to let the results come in, but you've predicted top 6.
Yep.
Leroy is holding back on his prediction. Definitely
I
when
am.
he returns to the show, we're going to ask him that question again. Finally, before we wrap up, I just want to ask you, do you think this league is wide open, or are you of the camp of City still going to win this league this season? Akintayo first.
I wouldn't say City will win this season. It's going to be tougher than other seasons for them. Tougher in the sense that they're playing more games. They're going to play World Club Cup. They're going to play. So it's going to take a toll on them eventually. Yes, they have bench, but at the same time, a lot of their players are going to injury too. So I feel it's going to be tougher for them. They might nick it, but it's going to be between them, Arsenal, and them Liverpool. So, yeah.
Bola, same question.
I don't know. But so like Akin said, City have some new players that I think need at least one season to get used to Pep's style. They missed KDB a lot, but I think with KDB they would have definitely won the league. But right now, at Arsenal, you guys, it's open right now, right? It's very open. It's only 1 point lead, and it's very open. The City is vulnerable. Everybody's gonna go watch the game we played them, the game you guys played them, and unless they come out with a different kind of energy. I mean, they have the players, right? Doku and Bernard Allen alone can finish a team, right? So I think they can still do it, but Arsenal has all the
And the only
tools.
way Arsenal can win is probably by the striker in January. Maybe an Ivar Tony.
That's going to be another conversation.
You don't have strikers.
Yeah, I think that's something that we should discuss
Strikers.
in subsequent. I totally agree with you, and I think that's going to be. But anyway, I want to appreciate you, gentlemen, for coming to the show tonight. Thank you for your time. It's been a wonderful and heated conversation. Guys, don't be deceived by this, gentlemanly from these two guys. It's different not online. It's way heated than this. But I'm thank you for your calmness and a little bit gentlemanly. Till another time, we'll see. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to Talk Futbol Live. Thank you very much. We'll talk again. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.